You know, the folks who have founded Sandy Hook Promise are just amazing to me. These are, of course, mostly parents, in some cases spouses of the people who were massacred that day. And what they have done, amazing courage and determination, is to put together an organization that's nonpartisan. It doesn't have an ideology. It's about trying to prevent the next massacre. And they realize that probably the way to do that is to identify the early signs of the mental illness that, in the case of previous massacres, has eventually led to this downward spiral where demons take over and these young men commit these unbelievable atrocities. So identifying the early signs, intervening early to help prevent that downward spiral. They do have a focus on gun safety as well. People keeping their firearms locked and stored safely in their homes. But what really impresses me so much is just the courage and the determination to do something constructive out of this terrible, terrible tragedy they went through.
Hey, Senator Toomey, you and Senator Manchin introduced legislation in the wake of what happened in Connecticut.
Right.
That legislation expired. What's your plan now? I mean, there's always, it seems, going to be another massacre, either occurring or certainly on the horizon. Could you please explain why vociferous and very vocal proponents of you know, the NRA, keep your hands off of guns, the Second Amendment, what your legislation did not do in terms of gun ownership?
Well, the only thing that our legislation would have done is it would have said that if you purchase a gun through a commercial vendor, whether it's at a gun show or a dealership or online, you have to go through a instantaneous background check. Well, it takes about 3 minutes to determine if you have been adjudicated as mentally unfit because of a mental incapacity that makes you dangerous, or if you're a convicted criminal. And we all agree that people in those two categories shouldn't have guns, and that's not a controversial idea. Unfortunately, it became controversial to establish a procedure to broaden the background checks. Yeah. I'm very disappointed. I think some people mischaracterized the legislation, and that led others to oppose it. But look, I think it's the right thing to do.
All right.